This was supposed to honor Melania Trump, a giant wooden statue built near her hometown in Slovenia. Instead, people immediately started comparing it to Smurfette. Some called it terrifying, others call it cursed. Some online said it looked like the Monkey Christ painting, and then someone burned it down. So naturally, they replaced it with a bronze version, and what happened to that one is akin to an infamous horror movie. At this point, Melania Trump statues appear to have a lower survival rate than Halloween decorations. It's time for Breaking Absurdity, your daily reminder that this is not normal. And don't forget to drop a like on this video. To understand why this story became so bizarre, you have to understand where it happened. Sevnica, Slovenia, a quiet riverside town around 5,000 people. Long before Melania Trump became First Lady of the United States, she was simply Melania Navs, a girl growing up in what was then communist Yugoslavia. The town itself feels almost suspended in time. Rolling hills, old apartment blocks, tiny cafes, a place nobody on earth expected would one day become connected to the White House. And yet, after Donald Trump's election, Sevnica suddenly became internationally famous. Not because of politics, but because it was Melania's hometown. And Sevnica leaned into it hard. Suddenly, Melania cakes, Melania honey, Melania slippers, Melania wine, even guided tourism built around her image. Entire businesses emerged around the strange idea that this tiny Slovenian town had produced one of the most recognizable women on earth. But the relationship between Sevnica and Melania always felt complicated. The BBC visited and interviewed some locals. Some locals expressed pride.
What do you think about Melania?
Great woman.
She's a great woman.
Others seemed uncomfortable with the attention.
Nothing.
And many simply appeared confused that their hometown had somehow become attached to American political chaos. Then in 2019, an American conceptual artist commissioned a local chainsaw sculptor to create a statue honoring Melania. And this was the result. The statue was carved directly from a tree trunk, blue dress, folded hands, rigid posture, an attempt to recreate the powder blue outfit Melania wore during Donald Trump's inauguration. But almost immediately, the internet turned it into a meme. People compared it to Smurfette, a scarecrow, a haunted theme park character, a Minecraft NPC. Honestly, the more you stare at it, the worse it gets. But strangely, the awkwardness of the statue almost made it more powerful, because whether intentional or not, it accidentally captured something deeper. Melania has always existed as a strangely distant public figure, famous everywhere, known nowhere, projected onto by politics, media, conspiracy culture, fashion culture, and internet mythology. And this bizarre wooden statue, half folk art, half meme, somehow became the perfect symbol of that. Not glamorous, not polished, just uncanny. Then in July 2020, someone set it on fire. The statue was badly damaged in what police treated as arson. And somehow, that only made the story more famous, because now the statue had evolved from awkward public art into political symbolism. Articles appeared across the world. Was it protest, performance art, anti-Trump sentiment, random vandalism? Nobody really knew. But the destruction almost made the statue more culturally important than it ever had been standing intact. But the story became even stranger after the fire, because instead of quietly discarding the destroyed statue, they turned it into an art exhibit. The charred remains were displayed inside a gallery exhibition in the Slovenian coastal town of Koper. And according to the American artist who commissioned the original sculpture, the burning itself had now become part of the artwork. Reuters reported that artist Brad Downey described the destroyed statue as a visual representation of political tensions erupting in the United States. The exhibit reportedly connected the burning of the Melania statue to the wider wave of monument destruction and political unrest during 2020. So somehow, a wooden folk art statue mocked for looking like Smurfette had evolved into an intentional political art piece about American polarization, which may be the most 2020 sentence ever constructed. And visually, the burned version almost looked more haunting than the original. Not polished, not restored, just partially destroyed and sitting inside a gallery space like a relic from a political fever dream. So the artist responded the only logical way possible, by replacing the burned wooden statue with a bronze version. Because apparently once your giant Melania monument gets burned down, the next step is obviously permanent metal infrastructure. The bronze version was designed to be more durable, more secure, and harder to destroy. For a brief moment, it appeared the saga was finally over. Well, it wasn't. In 2025, the bronze statue disappeared. Stolen. Sawed off at the ankles. At this point, the story becomes so absurd it almost sounded fictional. One Melania statue mocked by the internet, burned down, replaced in bronze, then physically sawed off and removed from existence. It genuinely feels less like a news story and more like a cursed side quest. And this is where the story becomes more interesting than a meme, because the statue obsession reflects something larger: the public fascination with Melania's early life, her modeling years, her arrival in New York, the Trump models era, the Paolo Zampoli connection, the fragment and often contradictory stories surrounding her rise into elite social circles. Over the past year, those missing years have become the subject of renewed scrutiny online, and the stranger those stories become, the more symbolic the Sevnica statue starts to feel. A public image carved from fragments, projected onto by everyone, fully recognizable, yet somehow impossible to pin down. What makes this especially surreal is that for many people in Sevnica, Melania isn't really a political symbol. She's just someone who used to live there, a local girl who became globally famous, which creates this bizarre disconnect. While the rest of the world turns her into ideology, mythology, and internet warfare, the town itself mostly just keeps existing quietly beside a river in Slovenia, watching tourists arrive to photograph a missing statue. Few public figures have inspired a wooden monument, international ridicule, arson, a bronze replacement, and then organized statue theft. But somehow, Melania Trump did. And maybe that's why this story keeps resonating, because the statue saga feels strangely familiar to Melania herself, mysterious, projected onto, fragmented, and impossible to separate from the mythology surrounding her. And there you have it, another day of breaking absurdity, where absurdity reigns supreme and reality can't keep up. If you enjoyed this episode of Breaking Absurdity, check out the Melania Missing Years deep dive linked below. And while you're at it, please remember to like and subscribe so I can keep bringing you more Breaking Absurdity every day.